Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. Alright, so we're going to do this video on this P0420 diagnostic code, catalyst system efficiency below threshold. Alright, so basically if you're searching for how to fix this code, your problem is probably related to issues with the catalytic converter. And since the catalytic converter is very expensive, before you replace it, you got to check issues with other components like the O2 sensor, the muffler, exhaust pipe, manifold, or the oxygen sensor wiring. So the catalytic converter is responsible for preventing any harmful gases from reaching the environment by converting them into less harmful gases. Any problems that you might have, that your car might have with the catalytic converter, might affect your car's drivability and results in failing the emissions test. And one of the quickest ways to keep an eye on a catalytic converter performance is monitoring any error codes coming with the check engine light illuminating. So one of the very common error codes indicating an issue with the catalytic converter is the P0420 code. So the official definition of a P0420 code is catalyst system efficiency below threshold. If you don't have if you don't have any kind of mechanical knowledge, it might be kind of challenging as far as trying to figure out exactly what the issue is, or whether it means that the catalytic converter itself is the issue of your car's problems. So here's how that catalytic converter is connected to the P0420 code, or I should say the catalyst system. The catalytic converter is responsible for reducing the harmful emissions from getting released to the environment, and as the name suggests, it converts harmful emissions into less harmful gases that are okay to be released to the environment without causing any damage to the environment. The converter is a major component, and it's really important important that it works properly so that your car can pass the emissions test and not harm the environment. The catalytic converter is connected to two different sensors responsible for monitoring oxygen in the engine. One sensor usually fluctuates, which is the one located upstream. On the other hand, the downstream sensor has readings that are usually steady. These two sensors should not operate with the same reading. If they have the same reading, it indicates that the catalytic converter is not working with the required efficiency, and that's when it throws the P0420 code. And obviously, it's going to trigger the check engine light. So let's talk about what causes this P0420 code. When this code is triggered, the problem might be linked to one of these things. In some vehicles, the car might call for unleaded fuel, and when using the lead fuel, your engine will trigger a P0420 code. And keep in mind, the condition is unlikely to happen. But if you guys have problems with the oxygen sensor that might be failing or damaged, that could trigger that code. Issues with connectivity of the downstream sensors, problems with engine coolant temperature sensor, problems with one of the exhaust system components including the exhaust pipe, muffler, exhaust manifold, and catalytic converter, malfunction problems with the oxygen sensors reporting showing that they record the same number, very high fuel pressure or leakage in the fuel injector, problems with the sensors getting dirty, and issues related to engine misfiring. So let's talk about the symptoms of a P0420 code. All right, since the P0420 code is linked to a bunch of different components, it is crucial for you to keep an eye for any symptoms indicating that the catalyst system efficiency is not the proper level by monitoring symptoms of P0420 code. And here are some of the symptoms. Whenever you warm the car up, you still deal with power loss. All right. When you try to accelerate over 30 to 40 miles per hour, it won't happen because your vehicle might experience some slow acceleration. You might smell some sulfurous smell coming from the exhaust system. Rotten eggs. The smell rotten eggs. You will notice a significant reduction in fuel economy. Also, you might experience some issues with reduction in drivability, rough idling, hard shifting, and sometimes misfiring. Your car will not have the required air to fuel mixture ratio. You might see some blue smoke coming from the exhaust system as your vehicle might be burning oil. Obviously, with P0420 code, your car won't be able to pass emissions. So how do you fix this? All right, it's P0420 is essentially a generic code that occurs in any vehicle. However, fixing the P0420 code requires certain steps that might be different from one vehicle to another. Usually cars like Volkswagen, Subarus, GMC, Ford, Honda, Chevrolet, and Toyota might have a very similar procedure to fix the P0420 code. First thing you want to do is you want to confirm that it's a P0420 code. And basically what you guys can do is you guys can get an OBD2 scanner. They cost about $20 at Walmart, or you guys can go to an AutoZone and or an Advanced Auto, and they'll scan it to you for free. Okay, so what you can do is you can clean or replace the catalytic converter, and that might not be the first step that you guys want to do, because it might be other components that could cause that code. So and replacing the catalytic converters are expensive. So before you do that, what you want to do is you might check to see whether there are any codes for anything else that could be causing the P0420 code, or any other codes that would give you an indication that it's something else. Because a lot of times if you get a P0420 code, you'll also get another code with that. You could get an oxygen sensor code. You could get misfiring codes. You can get a bunch of different codes. But what you guys want to do is you guys want to check to see if whether your car is misfiring, whether there's a fuel injection leak, whether there's oxygen wires, the O2 sensor wires, whether they're damaged, whether there's issues with problems with connections to the oxygen sensor, whether there's a faulty temperature sensor in the engine, whether there's a bad catalytic converter or a bad exhaust pipe, or a faulty manifold with a vacuum leak, or a muffler that has a hole in it. So basically, a lot of times a bad O2 sensor can trigger the P0420 code. And if that sensor actually is the cause of the P0420 code, you're going to get an OBD2 error code for that. So that would be something that you want to look for if you guys get another code besides that P0420 code. And that's a very, very, very important thing, because it'll narrow down the causes of this P0420 code. All right, guys, so I hope this has helped you guys out as far as trying to figure out what the cause of your P0420 code is and how to fix it. If you guys have your own personal experiences with this, definitely leave your comment in the comment section. It might help somebody else out. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, guys, take care.